Let's go.
Leftist bride and ultra-MAGA grandma go head-to-head and husband is sad. I just got married on Saturday and we had a very small micro-backyard wedding, 17 people. Groom and I aren't close to any extended family members, but he has a semi-good relationship with his grandparents, so they came. For reference, I am covered in tattoos and have a lot of facial piercings. My husband does not. His sister does, though, funny enough. Grandparents are very old-school religious conservative Trump supporters, and I couldn't be more on the opposite end of the spectrum of beliefs. One of the reasons we decided to have a small family-only wedding was because we have a lot of LGBTQ friends and a few trans friends, and we could not in good faith put them in a situation where a very outspoken woman would totally say some terrible things to them. Grandma speaks her mind and has no filter, let's just say. We danced this fine line during all the planning of not wanting to cater the wedding around 2 people, everyone else invited do not share the same beliefs, but also being respectful. Both our families are funny, wacky, and unserious, just super chill, cool people, bunch of hippies and liberals. We had so many silly bits in our wedding that everyone loved, but them. The first thing Grandma said to me after the ceremony was, "I met your mother, I see where you get your crazy from." It was said somewhat light-hearted, but it wasn't. It was someone else who overheard who said, "Disrespecting the bride and the mother of the bride within seconds of the ceremony ending is wild." She said a few other very rude, passive-aggressive comments said about me, the wedding that I was told afterwards. I swore a few times in the vows, was not intentional, I was just nervous and they came out, which is so not a big deal to either of our families, but grandparents were furious. Our officator emphasized our beliefs in science, parallel universes and infinity in the cosmos, think Interstellar, quoting Carl Sagan and all that jazz. I know they didn't like that. I also made a point when we thanked the guests for coming after the speeches, when my husband said, "You know we don't believe in that divine stuff, but it's magical how everything came together. It was supposed to storm, ended up being a perfect day, etc." And I took the mic and said, "Yeah, we believe in science." Sure, at that point that truly wasn't necessary and an intentional dig, but Grandpa scoffed super loud and I was just so over it. Post-wedding, my husband is conflicted. He wants me to have a relationship with his grandparents, especially Grandma. And I've told him if it wasn't clear before that her and I mutually don't like each other, it's clear now. Grandparents are in town until tomorrow and they invited just my husband out to dinner tonight, and I can't help but think they're gonna sit him down and say something about spending his life with me. Sure, I was being disrespectful, but she was too. I told him that beyond just his grandparents, I am the exact version of someone conservative religious Trump supporters despise, and I'm okay with that. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I understand why he wants us to like each other, but it's just not gonna happen. I know this post will start some stuff, especially with people that are right-wing, and that's not the point of this post. It's just a rant about how 2 people forced together due to marriage despise everything about what the other one stands for. I wish I could be a fly on the wall with their dinner tonight, and I know my husband will not tell me all that was said to protect my feelings. Edit. Holy cannoli, this post blew up. I showed it to my husband and he agreed with everyone and said it's not right for him to expect us to have a relationship and force me to compromise my morals. About the dinner, I got the full scoop. Husband asked his mom how long G&G will be in town for. They said 1 more day. Husband said, "I want to see them 1 more time." Mom said, "Let's do dinner." My name wasn't explicitly brought up or not brought up. And I'm happy about that, because now I don't have to come up with an excuse to not go, because no way in fuck would I go. I'm not offended in the slightest. Seriously, does this post not show how much I don't want to spend time with them, lol? Husband said he is going to make it clear to them to stop disrespecting me, and I believe him. Husband is also a leftist too, but has the little old grandma confliction. Like many Trump supporters, they always felt those feelings, but only recently were given the okay by the fucking president to be outward about them. So it's been really hard for him to come to terms with it. I don't remember the subreddit, but I know there's one on here about the true grieving and trauma of losing a family member to MAGA. Considering my entire family is left, extended as well, I have zero frame of reference on how that feels. I say that if anyone in my family was in that cult, I'd cut them out, but I know that's easy for me to say. I straight up called his grandma a bitch yesterday and he got upset. He said, yeah, she can say bitchy things, but don't call her that. After showing him this post, the comments, I think I finally got it through to him that truly anyone who believes in the horrid things Trump does is not a nice person, objectively. Last thing, I know everyone on Reddit is quick to jump on the divorce your spouse, they're a bad person train, but Jesus Christ, y'all, I get it, he needs to grow a backbone in this, but to say our marriage is doomed from the start is wild. Y'all only know 0.005% of our 12-year relationship. Edit 2. Guys, I don't want to go out to eat with them. I don't know how much clearer I need to be about it. Husband knows I don't want to go. Me going would mean he'd be forcing me to go, which he isn't doing because he knows I don't want to. For the love of God. I can't believe people can read this whole thing and think I'm offended that I wasn't invited or that it's somehow wrong that my husband didn't bring me, LOL. Relevant top comments. Commenter 1. Politics or morals? Your husband is demanding you compromise yours for the sake of his grandmother and not demanding the same of her. Why? Oh, damn, that's a really, really good point. After a few years, I finally shut him down from what him and his siblings always said, they're from a different time. When I finally snapped and said, my 92-year-old grandma voted for both Reagan and Obama. The longer you're alive, the less excuse you have for not growing and changing your morals. Commenter 2. Your husband needs to stick up for you. Commenter 3. Husband needs to be stepping up here. He should ask outright why his new wife isn't invited, and he needs to shut that shit all the way down whether you attend or not. Commenter 4. Why are you not going to dinner? Why is husband not saying you can go? Tag along and have husband act surprised that you weren't invited. But Grandma, you said I was invited. Said you were taking me out for dinner. We are one now, so I includes bride. Of course she came. We're newlyweds, why wouldn't she be included? Two became one, remember? We are cleaved together. Where I go, she goes. Where she goes, I go. He should be standing up for you. No dinner with Grandma without wife. Wife comes first. Unfortunately, it looks like this is going to be your first married test, lesson. It's a hard one. I'm sorry, Op. I hope your husband stands up for you in the marriage. Update, May 6th, 2025, next day. Didn't expect that to blow up yada yada all that stuff. But seriously, LOL. Thankfully Grandma doesn't use Reddit, so she won't see it, haha. Like I said in the edits of the original post, even if I was invited to the dinner I wouldn't want to go, which is why my husband never pushed the issue with them or with me. It saved me an excuse. An excuse I already had because I genuinely had Dungeons & Dragons last night while they went out. Didn't feel the need to include that because I didn't think that was the point everyone would get hung up on. Our campaign played online, so I was home when they picked my husband up. Evidently, they immediately asked where I was. Husband said you never explicitly invited her. They said they thought it was implied. Whatever. Again, I didn't want to go, plus I was busy already. They come back and I was still playing D&D. Husband comes in and asks if I can take a sec and step outside. They wanted to say goodbye. Cue the biggest hug from both of them, followed by what they should have said at the wedding, but I guess better late than never. It was so amazing, beautiful ceremony. You looked stunning, etc. Grandma then took my hand and said, I hope you know I wasn't offended by any of the swearing, and I hope I didn't come across that way. I loved your ceremony vows. Okay, wow. Then followed immediately up by, I should have said wacky about your mom, not crazy. Heck, I'm crazy. I didn't mean it in a bad way. Your mom is a character. Same with your father. I see where you get your sparkle from. I was shocked, but smiled and nodded. She gave me another big hug. Got back inside, immediately asked my husband what the fuck. He wouldn't tell me what he said, but he said he laid it down pretty fucking clearly about how shitty what they did was and how moving forward they cannot disrespect our beliefs like that, and if they wanted a relationship with him, that was the bottom line. I also wouldn't be surprised if their daughter, MIL hippie, liberal, cool, also yelled at them. It really hurts how many people were shitting on my husband in that post. It was a Monday night after work, after a small DIY wedding. He wasn't leaving his new bride's side in some grandiose offense way. Like, come on, y'all are so dramatic, LOL. One of the reasons I married this man was that he's not the type to cause a scene, especially at such a big day. Knowing how Grandma is, even if he took her aside during the wedding, it would have caused a ruckus. I knew it would be handled, and it was. I hope everyone read the edits and saw why deep down it originally made my husband sad. He is having difficulty coming to terms with finding out who his grandparents truly are. They never were outward of their bigotry before a certain president made it okay to do so. I was wrong calling his grandma a bitch to his face. I was hurt and he knew that, but it was a low blow. He's no longer sad. He gets it. He also knows that her apology, whether real or not, doesn't mean I'm gonna have a relationship with her grandpa. Also, one last thing, we didn't invite any friends to this wedding, just my BFF, the officiator. Like I said in the post, there was multiple reasons we did a small family-only wedding, only one of them being not bringing our LGBTQ friends around them. There were other, more important reasons, including wanting to have a small, relatively easy wedding ASAP due to my father's ailing health. Other reasons I don't really want to mention. We didn't solely plan our wedding guest invitees catered around grandparents. Relevant top comments. Commenter 1. Hey, I'm asking out of curiosity why it took 12 years to marry. Are you guys met young? OP. Yes, we met very young. We weren't in a huge rush to get married either. My father's health started declining, so we decided to finally tie the knot. Commenter 2. Now it's time to have a BBQ and celebrate with all of your friends. OP. That's the plan. Doing a friend-only shindig in January, plus I'm hosting a Dungeons & Dragons game as my, all genders included, bachelorette party. Woot woot. Commenter 3. Glad hubby read her the riot act it seems. Have a wonderful marriage. Commenter 4. Your husband handled it perfectly. I know you never doubted him, not once. My prediction is you will go the distance. Thanks for sharing. The sub-OOP was talking about is our QAnon casualties, and it's worth a read to get a real sense of how difficult it is when people lose loved ones to MAGA, Q, etc. It's really not unreasonable for the husband to need a minute, or for him to have some feelings about it. I completely understand the you don't have an in-law problem, you have a husband problem principle, but sometimes Reddit's demands that every spouse leap to the offense at every provocation verges on inhuman. Why do MAGA folks claim to be such independent thinkers? I, F28, just broke up with my partner, F27, due to differing political views. TLDR. My ex claims the people she aligns with, MAGA Republicans, respect people that don't agree with them politically and think the left is full of people who would rather exclude themselves than be challenged. For context, when we first started dating, she was a Democrat but still pretty religious. Nothing too crazy, though. About a year ago, she went MIA for a week and came back claiming to have been through a spiritual awakening. She was talking crazy about believing in conspiracy theories, the Illuminati being real, and claiming Trump was the only person they couldn't control. She became incredibly religious and now works within the Catholic Church. As much as it was hard to swallow, I broke up with her as for some time I hoped she would snap out of it, but still is proud of the person she became. While I think she went through religious psychosis of some sort, claiming the only thing in government is God and evil, I knew it wasn't my job to save her. While ending things, I told her that while I tried to make it work, the fundamental differences we now have are something I can't overlook. Explaining that I want to be politically aligned with my partner. She sent me the following text that made me just speechless. You are legit judging my character off of politics? It's like anyone I know who aligns with me, whatever the fuck that means, legit talk about how we'd never do this to any group of people. We are independent thinkers, and we actually respect that. I can live with the fact that this is why you don't want me, BC. It actually says more about the type of exclusivist you can be. If someone doesn't agree, someone challenge you, just fucking write them off. See where it gets you. Wow. Wake the fuck up. From my perspective, nothing Trump supporters and modern Republicans believe in is based in fact or evidence. I don't understand what about their thinking is so independent, as if they're not just believing clickbait lies that have been regurgitated for years now, which mostly stem from racism or other isms. I ended up telling her how, in a romantic partnership, I'm looking for a safe space, not to be challenged in politically. But Manon, I just wonder if they'll ever realize what they sound like.